Let's start with the first section of my Astro-Landscape Masterclass course. And it's time to show you actually my gear, my setups. I'm gonna divide it also, so you will see all of my different kind of setups I'm using. And yeah, I'm gonna start with my main and the best setup I do have. And this is the setup with Fornax slide drag, which is the core of this setup. And here you can see all of my gear I'm actually using for nightscape adventures. So there's a lot of different lenses, some telephoto zoom lenses, but mostly I do have a prime lenses. Of course, I want to have the best possible optically lens. So that's why also the prime lenses are the best. Yeah, I need to tell you that you can find all of my gear on my website with short descriptions and also with links to buy. Some of them also have affiliate links, and I invite you to visit my website also for the gear. You will maybe find something which can help you, or you just add to your collection. So yeah, so this is Shimoda X70 starter pack. This backpack is totally awesome. I love it. It has a extra large insert inside, and I can put almost all of my gear inside this backpack, plus other things like clothes, drinks, something for it. So yeah, here I do have two small tripods. This serves me for some special kind of shots from the cave, let's say, where the cave is really tiny, small, and I want to put my camera inside. That's what I did already. And maybe if I go on the mountains, I would take this small tripod with me, and I'm gonna use it maybe for time-lapse stunt trails. So yeah, this is actually the new one from Silence Corner. It's a Mamba pot. It's really awesome, tiny, and you can use it for different purposes. Not only for nightscape, of course. And here are my other trackers. So Benro, this is a Benro Polaris automatic head. And I'm gonna talk about this a bit later. Also the Nomad. So this is the Nomad, the smallest portable tracker. And of course some ball heads, the lighter one, a bigger one, for different purposes. And you can find also the pouch bag with all accessories, so shutter remotes, additional batteries, tapes, lens warmer, and this small rig tool. This tool is amazing. I can tell you that it has everything you need to have as photographer. So those small screws, different types, and yeah, this is always with me, and it's really worth the money. So if you don't have it, buy it. Yeah, cables and some other small things. Of course, headlamp. You should not forget this. This is a must, and I do have two of them just for a backup. Of course, for safe traveling, first aid pouch with some painkillers and stuff. additional here I do have additional power banks inside these pouch bags. So those pouch bags are really awesome, and I insulated them with alu foil. You can see it, it's a double-sided. I made it myself. I ordered those this alu foil on AliExpress actually, and so this is Clarus K5 power bank. It's a carbon fiber power bank, so it's very light, and you can operate it also at some extreme temperatures in the winter. But in order to keep the battery to last the battery even longer, you need to isolate the power bank, so it's gonna last much longer. So I do have 3 of them actually. You can see it with different pouch bags color, and I'm running. I do have it for Fornex and for powering my camera or lens warmers, even for my iPhone. So those are actually the 10,000 milliamperes batteries. Then here I do have a hard pouch bag where I put all of my square filters. So those are 100 by 100 millimeter square filters. And yeah, this is the first one. This is the Lee soft filter made of polyester. I really love those filters, and they are my best investment in the past year, because it makes the smaller stars even smaller, but bigger stars are getting even bigger and more colorful and softer look, and it practically boosts the constellations, and they add a nice glow effect, and I really love them. And also I'm using now this workflow in my editing. So I do have 2 of them, number 4, number 5. How I'm using it? Simply I'm holding in front of the lens by my hand. But how I determine the exposure and all other things, and when I shoot with the Lee-Soft filter, that's what I'm gonna talk about in tips and tricks for shooting section. Just to mention, what I love about this is also that if you find that the effect is too strong, the stars are too big and too soft, I simply hold it for half an exposure in front of the lens, and then I move it. I move the filter out of the lens, and the next filters are Focus on Stars filter by Gabor Takas. They are really great. I'm using it all the time. So there are 2 versions. Just let me grab one more. So this is the next one. Actually, it looks the same, but one is for tele lenses, so telephoto lenses, and this one is for wide angle lenses. So wide angle lenses filter is for lenses from 14 to 50 mil, and this one is for lenses from 30 to 400 mil. So you need to decide which one to use, but I can tell you that I was using this one, which is made for wide angle lenses, also with 200 mil lens, and it's working. there is no problem. The only thing is that this one is even more precise. So the one for tele lenses is even more precise with longer focal length lenses. And yeah, I simply again hold it in front of my lens like so. I don't have any holder. I really don't want to have also this holder with me, and that would give me even more weight on my backpack. So I just simply hold it and then I rotate my focus ring, and by looking at the back screen LCD on my camera, I determine when the stars are in focus. I just need to point my camera on some bigger stars. You can actually pick some light in the foreground, which is really far away, and you can also do this with the filter. So yeah, what else do we have here? So wedges. This is the new wedge. I do have two of them, but let's talk about that a bit later. Laser pointer from Nomad. I do have two of them, one for Fornox and one for the Nomad. Okay. Okay. So that would be it actually. Let me show you also this Alan Wallace Move Shoot Move. This is a Z plate, which I'm currently not using. I don't like it that much because, I mean, it's stable, but I prefer to have these tilt heads from the Simon Photo, which are much stronger. But if I would go on a mountain where I have a limited space, or I don't want to bring so much gear with me, I would simply grab this Z plate and Nomad tracker and maybe one more ball head, and that's it. So what else? This is actually the big L plate. So I can, instead of using this setup, I can put this one for a vertical rotation. Here I do have a panoramic rotator, so I can rotate my camera vertically. But no, I don't have a tilt head for that, but I can simply change it. I can show you also that. So yeah, now I'm gonna start with my main setup, and I'm gonna show you what everything I do have here. Okay, let's start first with the core of this setup. So this is the Fornox Light Track tool, and this is my best. Actually, this is the best portable tracker you can get on the market today. It's the most precise tracker, and I can tell you, I was using a Skywatcher Star Adventure, Alptron, Star Tracker Pro, Nomad, Benro Polaris, and none of them is neither close to this one. So let's say I want to shoot some deepscape shots with 200 mil or even 135, and I'm stacking multiple frames, so I'm tracking the sky with Fornox Light Track. Each frame is gonna be equally good. Neither one frame is gonna be bad. So if you take first frame, if you do the power alignment and take the first frame and its pinpoint stars, then you know that all of the frames are gonna be totally the same as the first one. There is really no difference. While if you shot with Skywatch or Star Adventure or other tracker I mentioned, even Skyguider Pro, You won't have 100% all of the frames equally good. There will be maybe 10 to even to 40-50% of the frames are gonna be bad, especially if you are shooting with longer telephoto lenses. And that's really the beauty of Fornox light track. And yeah, it's the Fornox. This Fornox is a bit modified by my good friend, and yeah, you can see it here. So this is the first thing which has been modified. Inside the arm, there's a screw hole, new screw hole. This is not from factory like this. And here is the laser pointer from Nomad. And my friend simply made a new hole here, treated a new hole. So I can now screw this laser pointer inside the arm, and also the laser pointer is calibrated, so it's really precise, and I don't need to use a poroscope anymore. I can simply use a laser and I can shoot with 200 mil or even more for a few minutes of tracking, and the results are gonna be really perfect. So this is the first thing which has been modified on this setup. And the second thing which has been modified is actually on the wedge itself. So let me turn this around. I'm gonna turn this around so maybe you will see it better. So this is actually the new wedge. The name of the wedge is Astro-Landscape. I don't know how to spell this, but yeah, you can order it on AliExpress, and I can tell you that this wedge is amazing. This is really very solid wedge and made of aluminum, and with 25 kilograms of payload is something what I wanted for quite a long time. Yeah, it's really great. I would highly recommend you to buy this, because before I was using the Skywatcher Star Adventure wedge, which is totally in different level. You can see it immediately when you put your hands on the wedge, but once you start using it, you can see it even better. This loop plate has been added here on top of the wedge, so I can now use my I can now put my, let's do this, I can now put my Fornox. So let's put the Fornox wedge on this using only our Arca Swiss clamp. Before that, what I need to do with original Fornox wedge was I needed to use at least two screws, two small screws to tighten it, to put everything, to put the Fornox actually on the wedge. I needed to collimate the polar scope before doing actually the polar alignment, which can be really time consuming. And now that I do have this this kind of modifying done with those gear, I can set up everything in 3 minutes. What you can see, I can set up everything in 3 minutes with a polar alignment. I'm talking. Before that, I was actually setting my gear, so this setup, but with the original wedge for like 20 minutes. It's a really difference, and yeah, I'm really happy about this. So thank you, my good friend, for modifying my Fornex and this wedge. But if you would have any question about this, about those things which has been modified, ask me on the social media or some email, and I will tell you what you need to do. The next thing I do love about the Fornex is this rewind and forward button. You can see how fast the Fornex is moving. I'm just pressing down the forward button. And now you can see that the Fornex stopped. This is actually the hard stop. This is the limit to where the Fornex can go. So Fornex has 108 minutes of tracking possible. So if you run out, if you want to track more than this, so more than 108, you would need again to rewind it and put your camera back in the same position. But I can tell you that I don't care about that. I never tracked for more than 90 minutes. Actually, this was the longest tracking for one object in my life. So yeah, but this hard stop has one more good thing for shooting panorama. So one good feature which I'm gonna tell in tips and tricks for shooting. And yeah, okay. So that would be actually it. About one more thing about the Fornex is you don't actually need the counterweights. You really don't need it. Since you do need for, let's say, Skywatch or Star Adventure, it would be good to have a counterweight to balance your gear about the tracker, especially if you're shooting with longer telephoto lenses. While this is not true for Fornex, you really don't need any weight. You can simply put your camera like this. And Fornex is gonna track, believe me, is gonna track the sky very precise, even in this position. So meridian flip doesn't matter here with the Fornex. You don't need to worry about the weight balancing because in Fornex there are a different kind of motors inside than in other trackers. I don't know about those motors that much. You should look on the official website of the Fornex, but I can tell you that this tracker is actually 20 times. I think it's 20 times more precise than the Skywatcher Star Adventure. So yeah, it's a pretty big difference. And it also has an auto guide port here on the back, in which you can use it. I don't, but and also I won't talk about this thing. But if you would use it with some big telescopes, auto guiding, and maybe also the counterweights will come handy. And probably the laser pointer wouldn't be good enough. You would need to use a poloscope or some other external device for doing the polar alignment. So yeah, okay, that's enough of the Fornex for now. Let's start with the tripod. So you can see this is the Sunway Photo carbon fiber tripod. T3240CK carbon fiber tripod, and I really love it. It's my main tripod. What else to tell? I'm using it for how much? It's 3 or 4 years, and I don't have any problems with it. It's working. It's very light, and I put it on the side of my backpack here. So yeah. The next thing is also from some photo gear, and this is the leveling base with a rotator. So you can you can see I can rotate everything about this leveling base. So when I'm setting up my gear, I don't need to care how I'm gonna place my tripod, where the Polaris is. I'm just focusing on the composition, and I'm not worrying about the Polaris and everything else. And also you can put your tripod like this, and put the everything in level with your leveling base at the top of the tripod. So really not a problem, and this is a must have gear for me. And I will show you a few more tricks for having such a leveling base with 360 degrees rotator. So this rotator is actually integrated on top of the leveling base. So this is a bundle, let's say that. And this is the model with 75 millimeter of diameter. So it's perfectly it's a perfect diameter for using it on this new watch. I do have also a 90 millimeter with which right now I'm recording this masterclass, but it's really heavy. It's nice to have a big leveling base, but it's heavy, and I really am using it if, let's say, if I'm shooting somewhere close to my car and I don't need to carry the leveling base in my backpack. So yeah. Okay, so this is the watch, which I already talked about. It's worth the money, and all the knobs are working perfectly. Yeah, I really love it. It's amazing. The next thing about the tracker is the tilt head. So this tilt head is also from Sunway Photo. This is a DT03. It's very sturdy, and I love it. I love it very much, and it serves me to put everything in level above the tracker. So this is the setup for panorama, what you're seeing now. And I need to put everything about the tracker in level first, so I know that I have everything for 360 in level. So the first thing I'm gonna do is to put my phone on top of this tilt head. I will open the Polarscope Align Pro app, where the bubble level is inside, and when the bubble is in level, so I'm gonna use the rotator and tilting like this, and when I see that the bubble is perfectly centered, I will put the next tilt head. But I want to talk about this a bit more, because I replaced the upper. So let me do this. I'm gonna just put down the lens warmer. Okay. So what I did with this first tilt head is I remove the upper plate down and replace it with this panoramic rotator. This is from a Ninja company, and it's one of a kind, because this rotator actually has this is a click rotator, and it stops. Depends on which degrees you will choose here. And why is one of a kind? Because it has a different kind of degrees you can choose from. Actually, it has 5 degrees, 10 degrees, 12 degrees, 24 and 30 degrees. I couldn't see any other panoramic rotator with such a degrees, and I really love it. I can use it with all of my lenses. I can set the degrees for even telephoto lenses with 5 degrees actually, and that's the beauty. But if I'm shooting with 40 mil, I will simply set it to 24 degrees, and I know that I need to rotate it twice to get 48 degrees. So double click to get the 48 degrees rotation. That means that my frames are gonna have around 50%, a bit less probably, of overlap, which is what you want to have. I'm gonna talk about this also in tips and tricks for shooting. I forgot to add one more tilt head. Okay, so this is now the upper. The second tilt head, which is the same, the only thing is that I didn't remove this upper Arca Swiss clamp on top, and here it is. I'm gonna just tighten it. This upper tilt head serves me for vertical rotations. It has degrees written. On top. So let's say it's very good for multi-row tracked panoramas, where you need to also use the degrees and also for landscape shots. So one more thing to add, I'm gonna mention in this section, is that everything you can see right here is that what I'm using also for shooting a foreground, so land. If I decide to shoot the foreground before the sky, I'm not gonna use only bullhead on the top of the tripod. I'm gonna use everything you see here, because I really don't want to put everything down again after I'm done with shooting the foreground, and put everything for the sky, the tracking again, sorry. So yeah, I put everything as it is also for the foreground shot, and the only thing I don't do is the polar alignment. Of course, that's what I'm doing before shooting the sky. But otherwise, for shooting the foreground, this is totally the same. You put everything in level above the tracker, and then you're good to shoot the foreground. You just rotate your camera down, so you actually have in frame as much foreground as possible. I really have a tiny bit of sky inside my frames of the foreground, so I can really get as much of the foreground in one frame as possible. And then I'm gonna simply start with shooting the foreground, but more about that in tips and tricks. So the next thing here you can see is Atoll by Silence Corner. This is a color lens, yeah. And you can rotate it as much as you want. You can see I do have also one more Atoll on my second Nikon, and on my ZFC camera also but here I need to use an extension or a plate because the camera is a bit smaller. And yeah, I really love those Atul gear by Silence-Core. Very good job. I do have two Nikon Z6 Astro modified cameras. Why? Actually, I do have a Nikon instead of Sony. I received this questions quite a lot on the social medias because I'm used to Nikons at first. I'm using a Nikon from 2016 when I first bought my camera. I'm used to the cameras, but there are things also that keeps me in on Nikon's cameras. So that the first one is the sensor in Nikon Z6 II are the best possible sensor today you can get for a night shooting, for a night sky, for the because it has a really low amount of noise, and they are great even when Astro modified, so H-Alpha Astro modified. Sony cameras are known for star eaters, so star eating problem, and also it's hard to find a good modification for Sony cameras, but I think that's really not anymore. I think it's getting better and better with Astro modifying Sony cameras, but the main thing is that I can now use all of Sony mount lenses on my Nikons using adapters. So I do have how much? 1, 2, 3 Sony mount lenses. So one Sony 14 and 2 Sigma lenses. The one which I'm shooting right now, recording, and this one. And it works like a prime lens, I can tell you. I do have 3 adapters, so Megadap, Techart, and the new Wiltrox. The best one of those 3 is Megadap adapter. Why is that so? Because autofocus is working really best, and also the focus position. So if you focus to infinity and you put the Megadap, of course, on your lens, now even if you turn off your camera, the focus will stay in the same position, and it doesn't need to have this focus lock, where this focus lock. Oh, this lens doesn't have it. It has, but Sigma 20 does have a focus lock button where you can lock the focus. So this is really good with Megadap because I can now focus with this lens to infinity, to the stars, and maybe something happened. Maybe the battery will drain, and I will need to change the battery. And when I'm gonna turn my camera on, the focus will be totally the same position as it was before. And even if I don't know, even if I use this lens after 1 day on this camera with Megadap, the focus will be the same. So the only thing you don't you must not rotate accidentally this focus ring. But yeah. So I do have 2 Nikon Z6 II and this Nikon ZFC APS-C camera, and it's not Astro modified. This is a stock camera, and I'm mainly using it as a backup or for time lapse, for star trace images, and I will take it with me if I don't need to hike somewhere very long, and I do have enough of space actually in my backpack. And yeah, that's it about my cameras and adapters. Now on top of this camera you can see a small device. This is actually a pretty new device, Smart Timer Pro. Oh, instead of using this Pixel, so this is a shutter remote, wireless timer remote controller for controlling your camera wirelessly. This is the Smart Timer Pro, with which you operate your camera using your phone. So there's an app, and I'm gonna talk about that in the section of apps for shooting nightscapes. It's really a great device. I would recommend to you. It's a bit more expensive than those more analog devices, but there's one great thing about this one. You can shoot holy great time lapses with this device, and it has a 0.3 seconds of gap only. So this is a really great thing for shooting star trails. So you don't have a big gap between the frames. So yeah, that's it about this setup. I think I told you everything, at least the most important thing you should know. So yeah, here I do have a power bank. So this is the same power bank I showed you before, Claros K5 carbon fiber power bank, which has also insulated layer inside this beautiful pouch bag, which I found on AliExpress. What else you can get on AliExpress? What you cannot get on AliExpress actually. So with this power bank, I am powering my lens warmers, my Fornex, my camera. I can power all three of devices at the same time, of course, since this is only 10,000 milliampere power bank. It's gonna drain pretty quickly, especially if you're powering also your camera. But let's say if I would be powering only the Fornex with this power bank, I could try for two nights without any problem, because the Fornex doesn't need a lot of power. It drains a battery really slow. So yeah, actually I want to show you also this. This is the cable which you need to have in order to run the Fornex light track with power bank. So it has a voltage converter inside, so from 5 voltage to 12 voltage, and I do have two of them. One more is always with me, just for a backup if in some case this one dies, or yeah. So I do have two of them, and yeah, you can buy it also on Amazon. It's very cheap. And I think that now this is everything about this main setup. So I really love it, and you will see more about tips and tricks how I'm shooting panorama with this setup in the section of tips and tricks for shooting. And also I'm gonna show you how actually I set up my gear with deepscape for deepscape shots. And yeah, that's it about the Fornex. Now we're gonna move to my second setup. Okay, I just replaced my setup, my gear for panorama. for this ball head. This is the Sunway Photo ball head XB44. It's a low profile ball head with two slots. You can see 1 and 2, and it's very sturdy with a high payload. Because it's a low profile ball head, it's also very stable in the wind, with better balancing, and that's what I'm using actually for deepscape shots. So Fornox plus this ball head, that's all you need to have. And yeah, this rewind button is doing magic, and I will show you that in a section of tips and tricks for shooting. Also for deepscape shots, yes. Otherwise, everything else is the same as with a panorama. So that's it about which gear I'm using for deepscape shots. So this is my second setup, which is at the same time the most portable setup of all of mine trackers, because you can see a really small device, and this is the Nomad Move Shoot Move star tracker. This is a new model which came out, I think it was 2024. And at first I was a bit skeptical with this tiny small device, how it's gonna actually track the sky. Especially I was a bit skeptical if the tracking would be good with a bit heavier and longer lenses. But I can tell you that it's really good actually. It's not bad. Of course, you cannot compare it to a bigger Fornox light track. So to this one, this is quite a big of a difference. Only the core of the tracker of the Fornox is bigger than this Nomad. Even if we compare it to the Benro Polaris, you can see that it's much lighter, much smaller, and also lighter, of course. I would take it with me as my primary, my main tracker on the mountains if I go with for a few days, let's say, somewhere to hike very long. I would take it with me definitely, because those trackers, so Fornox and Benro Polaris, could be a bit heavy. But yeah, with the Nomad, I'm actually shooting more or less a single tracked frame. I haven't done any panel with it, but I know that I could. Maybe I would only put this Z plate on top of the tracker. So like if, instead of a ball head, I would place here the Z plate like this to have everything in level about the tracker. And then I don't know, maybe I would use only the ball head for rotating between the frames, or maybe I would also put some tilt head above. But yeah, anyway, I would be shooting with 20 mil the most on my panel with this tracker. I am doing the polar alignment using a laser. Very easy, very simple. You just need to move a bit your camera from this laser position. So or move the camera down and place it again on the ball head. So the ball head is from Niver. It's a really small, tiny ball head, but I can tell you that this ball head is really it's really good for such a low budget, a low amount of money. I would highly recommend you, and if you want a bit lower weight of your setup, then go with this Niver. You can check on my gear site which model that is, because I don't know out from my head. Here I do have the same wedge as for my Fornex. So this is, I need to read it. Actu ratio, again from AliExpress, amazing, amazing wedge. And this one is in red color, so it's matching the Nomad. So yeah, on top of the plate I put a really small Arca Swiss clamp. I didn't have any problem yet with it. I was shooting with also with this 2845 Sigma. I was tracking really good. I was using actually 85 mil, and the tracking was also nice. Not all of the frames are equally good as with the Fornex, but that's really what you can expect out of such a small device. It doesn't have such a big payload, so that's why I also use a lighter ball head. And about the tracker, on the bottom there's this is actually now the same leveling base with rotator, but I do have under the camera with which I'm recording now a bit smaller, so leveling base with 65 millimeter of diameter, just for the Nomad. And also the tripod I'm using with the Nomad is from Sunway Photo, and it's a bit even a bit smaller than this one. It's 2840, so the diameter of legs are a bit thinner, smaller, and but it's a very solid tripod. I really love those tripods from Sunway Photo. So those are night series tripods, and they don't have a really bulky design here, which I really don't like it, because you cannot fold your legs of your tripod that much, and at the end when you fold it, when you fold everything, it's looking much bigger and bulkier than those night series tripods. And this upper plate on top of the tripods, it's more than enough for such setups. So yeah, one more thing I can add is how to polar align without the laser if you don't have an ability to see the Polaris, so the North Star, which is a must to do the polar aligning. I'm gonna simply put down my laser pointer, and then I'm gonna grab my phone, and I'm gonna place it on this flat surface on the back side of my Nomad. First I'm gonna open the Poroscope Align Pro app, and here is the bubble feature, which I already talked about, how I'm using it to put in level everything. So yeah, here is actually also the compass, where you can see the directions of the directions, so north, south, east, west, also the altitude. So in that way you know where the Polaris is located roughly. And first, of course, you need to be careful and put down your cover of your phone, especially if it does have a magnet built in. So that's what you need to do first. Then you simply put your phone, rotate it till you don't see the direction of the north, and then you just set the right altitude for your location where you're shooting. So in my case, this is 45 where I'm living. So I'm gonna just use this knob on my watch to find 45 degrees latitude, and that's it. And that's how you will be able to track also inside some caves or places where you don't have a clear view on a Polaris. Let's say this is in a forest where you have a lot of trees in the direction of Polaris. This can really help. Also, the same principle is with Fornax. You can use it without the laser. Here is the flat surface on this arm. You just hold your phone on this arm, and the principle is the same, using the Polarscope Align Pro app. And yeah, so that would be it about this setup, and I'm gonna continue with my third setup and my third star tracker, and this is Benro Polaris automatic head, which is a pretty awesome device. Actually, I bought it back when it was available on Kickstarter project. So I paid really a low amount for this device. I think it's more than half less than the price now on the market. So this device contains out of two main things. So the first one is the core, the automation and everything else. Then the second one is this Astro kit. So this is actually the third axis which is rotating this automatic head in the way, so you can track the sky. It's actually working, and the tracking accuracy is more or less similar to Move Shoot Move, a Nomad tracker. I know that people have a lot of problems using this Benro Polaris, but I think that the main problem is that they don't know how to use actually the analog trackers like Nomad and Fornax, especially when they are trying to shoot auto-tracked panoramas, which this device is capable of. They actually don't know the principle of shooting panorama with manual tracking. It's really good to know that things. So how to shoot, how to set your settings, how to set your overlapping, where to start shooting your panoramas, how many frames you need to have, such things, how much time you are actually gonna be shooting whole panorama, and such a small stuff can at the end bring only the problems. So that's why it's the best to learn those things on such a manual trackers before actually going into this more digital way, because everything you need to set everything inside your phone. In this case, this is my iPhone, and we have an app called Polaris or something like that, and you just connect it to the device via Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, and you set everything here. Also, when you're tracking auto-tracked panorama, so you need to set where you're gonna start, how much overlap you're gonna have, which lens you're using, and how do you want the Polaris to move, such a thing. So even the settings in your camera can be operated via a phone inside the app. It has, for me, let's talk about the pluses. So the big plus is of this device is definitely that you can see that I don't have any kind of additional gear above the tracker. The only thing I do have is leveling base. This is the smaller leveling base, so Sunway Photo 68, and it's great because I can shut down my Polaris, and it's not gonna touch the leveling base. So if you do plan to buy it, I would recommend you to buy also this 68R Sunway Photo. I think it's LB68R leveling base. While 75 is not working anymore, because this knob is gonna touch the leveling base and it can destroy your device. So this is the big plus. You don't need additional gear. You just put your camera however you want. So a tool again to put it in vertical or horizontal. And that's it, pretty much everything you need. So even if you're shooting auto track panorama, you don't need nothing. Also, you don't need a shutter remote controller, because you can operate everything on your phone. That's one more thing. And for me, the biggest advantage having this device is, of course, auto track panorama, with which I made a lot of them. Really a lot of them. I love using it, but lately I am not using it anymore that much, especially not for panorama, because now I do have this Lee soft filter. So this is a Lee soft filter, which I showed you already, and yeah, my principle of shooting with Lee soft filter is what I want to show you in tips and tricks for shooting in the next section. So I cannot use the auto track panorama anymore if I want to have also the frames with which are being shot with this Lee soft filter. I could only shot the normal sky without any filter, and that's it. That's why actually that's why I don't use it for panoramas anymore. But yeah, there is an option to do some other way arounds, but let's talk about that in the next section. One more great feature is motion time lapses. So you can simply set the start and ending position, how many frames you want to be inside this transition, inside this rotation, which Polaris we're gonna do. So it's really great also for that. I tried it, but that was quite a long time ago already. I think it can also capture holy gray time lapses, but I also didn't use that. But for what I'm using it sometimes is auto tracked foregrounds. It can be helpful, especially if you do have two trackers, let's say. Let's grab this one. So let's say I want to shoot the sky panorama and the foreground panorama with reflections at the same time. That's what I did at the end of the last year. I shot the sky using the Fornax, so the panorama of the sky with Fornax on another tripod with all the gear I showed you for my panorama, and I shot the foreground using the auto panorama mode using the Benro Polaris, and that's actually how you can capture the reflections of the sky to be perfectly matched, to perfectly match the sky. So because you're shooting at the same time, the stars are gonna be in the same position. So that's also one great thing to have. You simply set everything on your device, on your via iPhone, via phone. Doesn't matter. It can be Android, and you can set also to stack multiple frames per panel. And while you're shooting manually with another tracker, so the Sky Panorama, I can use the Lee soft filter and use the Fornox. In that way, I know that I'm gonna capture both foreground and sky at the same time. So this is pretty nice. Of course, you don't need to have the same field of view lens, so you don't need to have both lenses to be the same. Normally I'm shooting the sky with 20 mil lately. I really love it because I can capture almost whole sky to the zenith with one RAW. Maybe just to be sure, I capture one more frame at zenith, and then I know that I will have whole sky inside my panorama. But for the foreground, I'm using this Sony 14, especially if the composition is very hard and with a lot of, let's say, trees, lakes and something else. That's what I'm gonna put here on a Benro Polaris, and I can do both things, sky and foreground, at the same time. So Benro Polaris has a built-in battery. It can last up to 20 hours. So yeah, I was having a bit of problems in the winter time because I couldn't power my Benro Polaris using a power bank, because here on the back side there's a Type-C input where you can power your Benro Polaris using a power bank, and it simply didn't detect my power bank. I did have quite a lot of power banks that night, and also the cables, so nothing worked. And actually it was something wrong with my Benro Polaris. That's why I talked with the company, and they told me to send it back, and they will send me a new unit. So yeah, I did that, and I received a new unit, and this time with also the cellular option. So it's not only Wi-Fi, now I do have also the cellular. So they sell two different kind of Benro Polaris. The one you can operate only with Wi-Fi Bluetooth, and the one you can actually insert phone card, and you can operate it via home. Let's say I can put my Benro Polaris 50 kilometers away, and I can operate it from here. But I didn't try it, and I'm a bit worried about that. I don't leave my gear alone somewhere, at least not on some locations where there can be a lot of people, and yeah. So yeah, you can see that here this is the cable for powering, actually for connecting this third axis for tracking, and my camera is connected using a Type-C cable on the Polaris. So now I can start using it. I can operate it via my phone. So that's actually it about the Benro Polaris. But if you want to know how to set, how to use it, and all different kind of things, I would suggest you to look at Dan Zafra Masterclass tutorial for Benro Polaris, where it has a really nice explanation on everything, and he did a great job about it. I know that he also is using this Benro Polaris quite a lot. I think it's his main tracker for, especially for tracked panoramas. We were talking quite a lot about, and it looks like he fall in love with this device. Yeah, I also did. That's true, but I need to find a solution to use it also with a less soft filter, which I really loved, and I cannot. It cannot replace auto tracked panorama versus manual with the filter. So that would be it actually about Benro Polaris. I think I mentioned the everything which is what's the most important about this device. So yeah, it also has a big payload. I think it's 6 kilograms of payload. It's much bigger a payload than with the Move Nomad tracker, and yeah, the tracking accuracy is more or less similar to Nomad, but that's pretty much all. So thank you for watching this, and in the next step, actually I do have one more setup which I'm gonna just show you right here. So this is an Nikon ZFC, and the small tripod from Siri AM223, which can be extended to this. Now I put an extension tube on top, also from the same company. You can buy it as a bundle together. I think it costs around 100 euro. And then I simply put one ball hook. Let's just grab this one from this silence corner tripod. Okay. And then I simply put my Nikon ZFC, and I can with this I can shoot some star trails, time lapses, and stuff like that. Actually, last year when I was on in the mountains, I was using this setup, exactly this setup. It was Sony 14 Nikon ZFC without Astro modified modification, and I think it was a bullhead, a Never bullhead, and I was shooting a panorama with this setup quite easy. It was not a problem. I was just a bit low to the ground, but otherwise I managed to capture everything pretty easy. So what I want to tell you that for a normal panorama without the tracking you really don't need the best equipment, the best gear. But in order to have the best possible setup, you really need to think about each piece of gear, not only the tracker or camera or lens. Everything counts. Also the bullhead, tilt heads. Everything is really important to be as good as possible, especially if you're shooting in some extreme conditions, winters, windy weather, and and other things which can be really unpredictable during the night. The weather in the mountains is also unpredictable, and you want to have the best possible gear. And of course, it's not all about the gear. It's also about the planning. You really need to take a time for planning, for the compositions, and that's where I put a lot of effort, a lot of time to find something really interesting, something new maybe. Sometimes it's really hard. I can tell you that that my head is going. Yeah, really. But the end is worth it because an astrophotography is really an adventure. It's not only about photographing and shooting the night sky. It's also about going outside. If you do love landscapes, if you do love nature, then also the stars on the night sky. It can be a really peaceful in the middle, in the night time. You can gain a lot of motivation actually when you're outside alone in serenity. Yeah, I'm feeling really connected with nature at that time. I'm not there only for shooting and creating new images. It's also about an adventure behind the scene, because each time I go out on some locations, I'm sure that one or two things are gonna happen which you're gonna remember for quite a long time. And yeah, so it's not all about the gear and those stuff. But anyway, it's good to know what to use for different kind of purposes, what you can buy. Of course, we photographers, we always want the best possible gear. But if you're starting with an astrophotography, I would tell you that just use the first try and use the gear if you do have it already, and try to maximize it to the limit. And only after that, after you will learn new things, after you will discover new things, practicing a lot outside shooting the night sky, only then buy and upgrade your gear, because it's not a gear which will give you the best possible images, winning images. It's about everything. Everything is connected. So planning, gear, shooting in the location, in the right time, in the right place, and then editing is really important. Also the stories behind the image. So everything as a whole is important at the end, the final and the final product. So thank you again for watching this, and we will talk about tips and tricks in the next section about how to shoot a different kind of images.